I'm bored. Might as well review this SpongeBob episode that I recently just got so confused by. Like, the hell was this episode? It's supposed to be one of those a fan service episode where you get to see tons of references of the show, Easter eggs and all that shit. But it's like it's so weird because at the same time it's like it doesn't even seem like it knows its own show based on the writing. SpongeBob's Friendiversary starts out like most bad SpongeBob episodes. Squidward just trying to do his normal life and then just keeps getting beaten into the ground, going through torment, and it's just not funny in general. It's just him getting tormented for no reason. And this time Squidward is getting annoyed by SpongeBob because it's the anniversary of when they first became friends, when, they weren't actually ever friends. SpongeBob is just delusional. SpongeBob's delusional positivity and love for everyone is a big part of his character, and that's something I'm gonna get to later. But these Squidward being tortured just for being Squidward episodes are boring. You know why? Because it just goes to the same thing over and over. Every second it's just gonna be Squidward gets tortured. We even get a reference to another Squidward torture episode where they're at the Kelpie G concert. So after going through all this, Squidward understandably erases his memory from SpongeBob. Just go with it. Now, strangely, when Squidward and SpongeBob meet afterwards, technically it's SpongeBob meeting him for the first time, SpongeBob is out of character because it's like, usually SpongeBob is all happy to meet someone new, happy to make someone friend, especially if they're working together. Like I said, he has this delusional positivity, which does make him a lovable character when he's well written, but here he's out of character. He talks about a stranger danger, but this guy's never cared about strangers ever before. And with this being a episode where it's supposed to be like, hey, you remember this episode? You remember this episode? It's like, yeah, I remember. So I remember that SpongeBob isn't like this. SpongeBob's not nervous around other people. He's happy to try to make friends with anyone he meets. And SpongeBob just doesn't do that. It's like SpongeBob just doesn't care about Squidward. Like, he just doesn't want to be there. Yeah, at this point, Squidward's a stranger, but again, we've seen him be friendly to just every single person under the sun in that show. Now, the reason that they have to get SpongeBob's memory back to Squidward is because SpongeBob held the memory of the secret formula combination to a memory with Squidward. And now I'm just like, but Mr. Krabs, you could just tell him the secret formula again, and now we have to have another memory to connect it with. You don't have to have Squidward go and remake that memory. Just tell SpongeBob again, and Squidward can just go to a peaceful life, and I, as an audience member, have no reason for that to happen. Because if Mr. Krabs can just tell him again what the secret formula was, what did SpongeBob really lose in this episode? Because you can't really call Squidward a friend, so he didn't really lose a friend. This episode is clearly just a rehash of Dying for Pie. The Friendiversary is just another version of the whole, the employee kindness day. Squidward did something bad to SpongeBob. But in this context, it's really not that bad. There really isn't anything lost. While in Dying for Pie, Squidward actually fucks up, so he deserves the consequences that he gets. In both episodes, Mr. Krabs explains the problem and then tells the both of them to leave and hang out so that the problem gets fixed or dealt with. So obviously in this one, the comedy is just on a straight up low. Like, the freaking slapstick is boring. Squidward just being tortured for the sake of being Squidward is just not funny. It's been done a million times before on the show. It's just not interesting. And for some reason, they seem to think that stupid facial expressions automatically equal comedy. Now, in season 11 and 12, I was able to look past that because the jokes were good, but now with this new animation style they're doing where they're just over-the-top facial expressions, it's just like, okay, this is coming distracting, it's making it seem more erratic than it actually is. Like, it's like they don't know when to actually make a joke there, so they just put in a stupid face and hope to just move on to the next scene. And when Squidward's getting tortured in the opening and seeing SpongeBob's over-stupid face, you can tell how, even at that point, they're making SpongeBob more out of character by going over-the-top stupid, especially with the facial expressions, to where it's just cringy. So in the end, when his memory comes back, he brings up how he's like, hey, I remember the safe now, and it's like, the safe was never brought up to you, that just came out of nowhere. And then again, this whole thing happened to Squidward going through more torture just because of the safe combination. Just tell him the combination again, and it honestly was going to be a more satisfying story of Squidward getting some peace. While SpongeBob isn't really harmed at anything, not remembering who Squidward is. Because let's be real here. SpongeBob doesn't need a Squidward in their life. No one needs a Squidward in their life. I know we have our moments where like, yeah, I relate to Squidward here, but at the same time, we know what type of person he is. To make the episode better, I just pulled back the over-the-top torturous Squidward for no reason, and have the actual reason that Squidward wants SpongeBob back, like in the normal episode, How to Be Normal, where Squidward's like, hey, I actually want SpongeBob back. You know, make SpongeBob seem more unlikable to Squidward without his memory than him with it. Start the episode with Squidward just being annoyed with SpongeBob just doing his little thing. Then Squidward erases the memory. Then you have Squidward getting tortured in order to get SpongeBob memories back, because that would actually be funny. He would actually deserve it at that part. Which is why Dying for Pie is a loved episode. But overall, with what we do get, I give it a 0 out of 5. It's honestly a bore. That's the main problem with it. It's just boring and confusing. Characters are out of character. The tortures go into the wrong character. The problem in the episode could be fixed just so quickly and make everything else that's happening unnecessary.